Hey everybody, it's your Pratte Pack doing a little yard work and following the Steelers and just doing what I do, staying busy. But I had to stop everything to talk about this news trending right now. Of course, CBS Radio News, KDKA Radio, and of course the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette all are going to be talking about this story, the passing of former First Lady Rosalynn Carter. Just an incredible human being, and her husband, I believe, a humanitarian in every sense of the word. And what he did to help broker peace in the Middle East will always be remembered as a highlight of his presidency. He only lasted one term because of what was happening in the world. It was really the beginning of the end of the manufacturing era, something he had nothing to do with, and it really caused double-digit inflation and gas rationing, and it was just not a good time in America. And obviously the hostage crisis in Iran was just one of the many stories that caused him the inability to go on and get elected, and it did create the beginning of Reaganomics and President Ronald Reagan's first of two terms. But I want to go back in time to when I was a young broadcaster, still trying to find my way, and I was kind of like my own LLC. I was a corporation because I went out and said, if they're not going to give me a break, I'm going to go out and make a break. So what I did in that short period of that presidential election in 1980 as a 21-year-old, I got exclusive interviews, 2 with Ted Kennedy, 1 with Ronald Reagan in the back of a vehicle that took him to the Coriopolis Elks for a private meeting and speech. I did it on my own because of sheer will. But I also did something that I have pictures to document all of this and are still somewhere in that vault to this day, something my mother was so proud of. Because of then District Attorney Ed Tosi, I was able to secure an exclusive interview with Rosalynn Carter, not too far from here in Monaca. And I just couldn't believe her sheer compassion and her soul. She was just such a beautiful person on the outside and inside, and she gave me more time than I ever thought possible. And I realized then why she was so incredibly important to Jimmy Carter. You know, she really did do so many things in her life, and what they did as a couple long after the White House, I don't know if anybody will ever accomplish that. She leaves behind an incredible family, and her husband, he too is in hospice, and I must tell you, I think about them all the time. And you know, 1976, when Jimmy Carter ran for the White House and got elected, it was the first presidential election that piqued my interest to a point where I really wanted to always be a part of presidential politics, and it is still one of the reasons why I love policy and politics to this day. So on behalf of all of us who are true Americans and believe in our Constitution and democracy and what everything this country is good and great about, I'd like to send all my thoughts and prayers to her family, and her legacy, as I said, must live on for future generations. Thank you, Rosalynn Carter, for being so kind to me some 40 plus years ago, and more importantly, for what you did for this country, giving us all belief that yes, you could not only make it work as a First Lady, but you could also do incredible things as a mother and as a wife, and someone who always thought about the greater good. We'll be talking much more about this later in the week when I'm back on KDKA Radio, as will my colleagues. And of course, it's KDKA 100.1 FM, AM 1020, CBS Radio News and CBS Television News throughout the day for the latest on the passing of the former First Lady, truly one of the most gracious people I've ever met, Rosalynn Carter, who has passed away at the age of 96. It's your Pratte Pack. Enjoy the rest of your day and have a great holiday.